I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is All the Mods 10. You know what brings me joy whenever I start playing mod packs like these? Storage. Yes, lots of storage. And so with that, today is going to be filled with everything storage and exploration. Because if we do go exploring even more, we're going to need more storage. And we're going to need more storage for our storage in the future. And our storage is going to probably also need its own storage as well. Oh yeah, did I mention that today we're going to be working on storage? No, but in all seriousness, we're going to be going over what I think to be the best early game storage mods, and also getting into our own storage and getting that all set up so that way we have somewhere to store our said things. Now there's several mods in here that actually allow us to store things, but not all of them are created equally. Some will allow you to store tons of items and filter and have all kinds of functionality like that, while others just make the act of literally storing your things easier. And just a few examples of the mods that allow you to just store things, right, would be the Occultism Dimensional Storage Accumulator, and then you also have, if it was updated, RF Tools has a storage scanner. I'm sure it will eventually be in here. And then you have the QIO drive. These are all like early examples that are outside of, for example, Applied Energistics. And then of course, one of my favorites, which is the Ars storage lectern. We even have like just going plain Jane with using functional storage, and of course sophisticated storage, which is fantastic as well. Also accompanied by sophisticated backpacks, which many people would also prefer. Now, out of all of those listed, only one, in my opinion, absolutely is early game. And that's because all but one of them basically require you to go to the Nether. And that one that doesn't, well, happens to be the Ars storage. So I think this is going to be a pretty fun early storage that you can set up almost on day one if you really just went after these specific ingredients. And what are those ingredients, you might be asking? Well, how about a feather from a chicken, just a little bit of gold, dabble of good old-fashioned squid ink, and you can't forget a few stolen bookshelves from the village, and also their lecterns. Also, we're gonna need one sapling each, basically, for all of the different saplings from within Ars itself. And this is actually provided directly through the quest, so you don't even really have to worry about it too much. Just make sure you get them planted, so that way we can harvest more of them. With all of my saplings, this is now just about everything we need in order to get into Ars Nouveau. Now, the spell book here is going to be nice because I want to be able to get my quest rewards, and basically making the spell book opens the access to those quests. And you may get some good things. You can get some glyphs, I think. There's some more rewards for source gems. I will always take more source gems for sure. Now, honestly, in this pack, I feel like not getting into Ars would be a huge missed opportunity. Because of all of the extra gear that we're going to be able to get later on, it's going to make this spell book that I have in my hand incredibly powerful. And by the way, once you make the spell book, your entire guide for the mod is basically inside of this book. And any item that you're interested in, you can just simply search for it by just typing out what you want to look for. So very handy if you're wondering what a specific thing does. Having that documentation, honestly, I just wish every mod did this. Now, thankfully, because of all of our looting that we did last episode, I don't really have to make any source stone either. This is actually one of the more painful things that you have to make because it does cost a lot of stone and the original source gems to make this, but we can kind of just skip right to the good part. Because if I remember correctly, the only thing we're going to need is an arcane core. We're going to also need an enchanting apparatus, and then we're just going to need basically 4 arcane pedestals. And you don't need, like I said, the entire like setup for it. You would typically down the road need 8 of these pedestals, but we don't need all of them. We really only need 4 for this particular setup. Now, quick tip, by the way, if you didn't actually go out and you didn't hunt for those source gems and you're wanting to make them, well, we are going to need to make them with the imbuement chamber. And this just requires you to have some of the logs, for example, right here, some of that archwood planks. And I recommend making a few of these if you have the resources to. And then whenever you place it down, right, just like so, all you have to do is place in some lapis, or if you have some of the crystals, for example, like these crystals that are right here, then you can also use those. And this will just process over time. If you make like 6 of them or so, it's actually pretty fast. Like you'll just like turn around, blink, and the next thing you know, they're all done and they've all converted into source gems. Later on, there's an easy way to convert this. And if you found the same room that I found that basically gives you the helmet and stuff, you can make a Starbunkle, and Starbunkles can actually automate this right from the bat. And I love how I literally just called those crystals the amethyst down there. Now I did find this last episode, which does give me a little bit of flight. It's just very weird. But yeah, good old amethyst. And this has a whole underground area. Oh, and there's a chest. Oh, well, that's nice. Oh, and there's even more lapis down here. You know what? This actually might be a really pretty area to just set up some of that basic Ars stuff. Cool. And what a perfect time to make our first spell. So I want to go ahead and I'll just do a touch break, and we can name this, by the way, break, which I always do, just like that, or boop, or whatever you want to call it. And now whenever I right click, it's going to break this block that I am currently looking at. This area couldn't be any prettier for this particular setup. So let's get our enchanting apparatus set up. So it's an arcane core with the enchanting apparatus part directly on top. And we just place these down beside it, just like this. And you can place them a little bit away from it, but this is probably the best example of this whole setup. Now that I have this, I do want to make a Dominion wand, which is basically like the tool that allows you to do things or command things within Ars. And that just requires 2 source gems and gold with a stick. And this should be like one of your first things that you craft up. And I love the animation of this. Oh, it's just so pretty. Man, that is so nice. And there it is. There's our first sort of tool, which is the Dominion wand, which we're going to be using to basically set our storage whenever we get the lectern set up. Now, speaking of setting up the storage, let's go ahead and make that lectern. And this is why I was saying, this is how easy this is. This is all you need to make that lectern. Now, there's one other component that we are going to need to work out, but I promise you, it is so simple to get all of this stuff done, and it doesn't require you to go to the nether either. So let's go ahead and place this down. By default, it doesn't really do much, and we have nothing inside of it. But this is what the GUI looks like, by the way. And if we have the dark mode set to normal, you can see this is how bright it actually is normally. And it looks very much like the refined storage that you might be used to. But this isn't a storage on its own. It actually requires all of the storages externally to basically scan. And at the moment, it has 0 bookworms. So how do we get bookworms? Well, that is why we went out and we gathered a couple of those mob drops, for example, a feather and also ink sacs, because this is what we're going to use to make ourselves a bookworm charm. Now, when looking at the bookworm charm itself, you're like, well, there's no recipe for it. Well, that's because there's actually kind of a special ritual that you have to do in order to get this. So you are going to need the flourishing archwood logs, which is the green version of that log. And we just need to make a tablet of awakening. And this right here needs to be placed inside of a ritual brazier. And we did get one of those, but if you didn't, of course, you just need to craft it. But we found this inside of one of the structures, so we got a little bit of a heads up. And there's nothing fancy that we really have to do with this. We just simply need to place this in here. Now, as of right now, it says awaiting activation. You don't want to do that just yet. We actually want to augment this ritual, and that's why we need the feather, and we also need the ink sacs, because we want to augment this with a book and quill. And whenever we click this into here, you're going to notice it's consumed the item. And if I right click now, it spits out a bookworm charm. How good is that? That is so nice. Now we just need to right click the bookworm charm directly onto the storage lectern. And now that it's defined on here, this grants us 8 individual inventory slots that we can essentially attach to this storage. That means this full chest right here can be linked. And the way we link it is by shift right clicking on to the chest that we want to link to, and then right click, not shift right click, but right click onto the actual lectern itself. Now, does have a little bit of a priority sort of system, like the first chest linked is what's going to be filled up and pulled out from, and so on and so forth, depending on the order that you link them up. And that means that our system organization might end up becoming a little bit flustered. Something else to note, placing it directly next to an inventory might be a bad idea, like I just did. And the reason being is because the inventories that are connected to it are going to act kind of like import chests, where it'll basically auto extract from the chest and start to put it into all of the other storages. And so that's why you heard all of the popping. That was basically the bookworm taking items out of this chest down here and storing them into the only other chest that we had linked, which is this one right here. Now, another cool thing about this storage lectern, right? Hear me out, is that later on, you can actually connect it directly up to your applied energistic system or any other mod that can read from its inventory, because it can actually allow you to pull and send items out of your storage here. Yes, you can have like filtered pipes pulling out very specific items. All of that will actually work. So for all of that effort, you basically get a storage that you can now search in, and you can also craft directly out of within JEI. And by default, the one bookworm gives you 8 inventories you can hook up to. So I can actually hook all of these up to this and it will work. But you can also hook up storage controllers. So your possibilities are basically endless here. And just when you thought that this has ended, the bookworm, yeah, you can just make more of them. And then it'll just keep adding 8 and another set of 8, another set of 8, until you have as many as you need, right? And then you can also chain together lecterns to another lectern, extending your lectern range. So yeah, you can have a lectern inception. So now I'm just waiting for somebody to tell me that this is not the best early game storage mod. Come on, just tell me, just tell me. Also, whenever you do break this lectern, your bookworm will end up dying, but not permanently, right? Because it just turns back into its charm and all of the chests become delinked. So you know what? Let's go ahead and maybe put our bookworm charm somewhere else, or put our lectern somewhere else. I don't want it necessarily attached to a system here. So what I might end up doing is just placing it here for now. And then I can have a little table right here with my cutting board on it. I think that'd be pretty nice. Place that there, and beautiful. We are now linked up. And the idea right now is to just simply get all of these chests linked to it, and I think we'll be ready to go for bigger and better adventures. Some other awesome things to sort of mention is there's actually a storage container within Ars itself called a repository that basically is a barrel that is the size of a double chest. And the cool part about the repository is it does show basically how full its inventory is on the outside. So yes, repository does exist, and this is the recipe for it. So honestly, not too bad for a double chest. Now, before long, we're going to have the ingredients for the warp index. Now, this does require nether access, and the warp index will allow us to have access to our storage within this dimension indefinitely. And there's another one called a stabilized warp index that will allow cross-dimensional. Very, very cool, and it gives you a hotkey and can go inside of a bobble slot. Just the icing on the cake. Now, before I fully head out, I do want to try something that is going to basically make the Modpack a fashion show. I want to go ahead and dye my gear. So with the R stuff, it can all be dyed, for example, and I want to try this gradient where we go from black to gray, then to light gray, and then to white. I've not seen this before. Oh, that actually does look really good as it like transitions up into the lighter color. You know what? I'm down for that. That is pretty cool. And then you can also dye your spellbook, which I want to do. And bam, I now have a black spellbook. Oh, this looks really cool, actually. So now with the storage ready to go, we have a basic place to just kind of dump everything, meaning we can explore some more. And I want to do more ocean exploring because I want to find more glyphs that'll give us more access to different utility spells that are super important early game. Like, just to demonstrate how powerful some of these early spells are, I can go ahead and create a, I don't know, conjure terrain one that we had discovered, right? And so you can set it to touch and conjure terrain, and this will literally place dirt blocks for you. It's just so good. These are just so useful early on. Or for example, if you want your break spell to work at a distance, you can just do projectile break, and this will shoot a projectile out instead of just actually, breaking the block you're looking at. I could, for example, break a block that's all the way over there. And like, if I broke that block all the way over there, I would definitely want a way to pick that block up, and I could do that by going ahead and applying an item pickup directly after our break. this basically gives us a break with an item pickup directly connected to it, meaning that I don't have to worry about my things falling to the ground because it's just going to go right in my inventory. And don't even get me started on the mage light thing. Oh, it's so good to have night vision and a torch that you can just place at any time. Oh, and just something to get you super excited for the end game or near the mid to end game of this pack. Take a look at this. All the Modium gear sets that are for the Ars gear. I am so excited to get this stuff because just take a peek here. Just the All the Modium version of this has +6 mana regen, and just take a look at what this has. 1 mana regen. So this is just the start, and this gear can already be incredibly powerful. And whenever this is upgraded, ultimately, when we have blaze rods, this is just 2 mana regen. And whenever this piece gets upgraded again with the ender pearls, this is only +3 mana regen. So yeah, you can definitely start to see the possibilities here. If you've never dabbled with Ars, now in this pack would be the time to do it. Now, before I head out on my adventure, let's upgrade our backpack to the next tier, taking it into gold. The difference being this is the iron tier, this is now the gold tier. Oh, there is just so much more space. A whole other chest, basically. So let's get to exploring. I wonder if I can land this, and yes, I did. Very, very nice. There is a village over here, but what I'm really after, like I said, is those glyphs. And I could make all of the glyphs, but this is honestly going to be more fun. Plus, the amount of loot that I might get from this, oh, it's definitely going to outweigh everything. And I think that's another tower. Like, these towers have like guaranteed, if that's the same one that I just had over here, they have like guaranteed diamonds in it. And what is this? Is this a pyramid? This is 100% a pyramid. Oh, come on. Oh, and this is, if I remember the pyramids correctly, this has got to be one of the trolliest pyramids that exist. I don't even know if I should be going in here. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, I need a shield. That's what I really need. Oh yeah, this place is the trolliest. I just, okay, I'll break it to show you. It's so bad. It is so bad. It's so dark down here as well. Oh, there's like a big open area down there with creepers that fill the entire place. Oh, it's not not good, but I bet there is good loot down there. I would just have to have some way of getting to it. I'm not prepared just yet for that madness. But I am prepared for this because we've been in one of these before, and these structures, like I said, basically are guaranteed diamonds, right? They definitely have lapis in them, I know. Oh, that's not good though. Poison spooter. Let's be quick. Let's be quick. Okay, this one did not have diamonds in it. Oh, interesting. So not all of them have diamonds, I guess. I think once I have myself a conjure light spell, that building will be so much easier to go through. Definitely. Like the ocean is like the best place, by the way, to search for those structures that have those spell scrolls in them, because there's one right there. Like, yeah, the ocean is so good for this. By the way, there is shark infested waters. I didn't realize. Who did? Why do you exist? No. Hey, no. Get back. Why are there sharks? And they hit you in your boat? Yeah, if you have a fear of ocean and fear of water, now it probably just is 10 times more, right? Oh my goodness. Let's see what we got. We got the Wooloo. Well, this ship seems like the perfect area for me to take out. Ah, yes. Here we go. Can I just pop directly into the back here? Hello? I don't think I can hold shift to get into here. There is a chest like right there though. I would need to break the glass in order to do this. Oh, stay steady, and glass broken. Oh, that had an enchanted golden apple in it. Oh, that was so good. Yep, that was so cheesy as well. Sorry guys, you won't be catching me. I'm out of here. Like, who leaves all of their booty in the back of the boat? I mean, you know what? Never mind. Also, I can't just let these guys just stay here. I know they're cute, and I don't want to get rid of Gregory right here, but Gregory, you lived a long, healthy life, I will say. And so did Sandra right there. And one of these days, these snails are going to come after me, and I will inevitably perish due to them. Now, these buildings, by the way, can also spawn not in the ocean. You can just see them a lot easier in the ocean. And yeah, remember, this is exactly what I'm looking for, right? And let's see, we got Evaporate. Ooh, Evaporate's actually a really good spell, meaning we can get rid of water and stuff like that. Now, this scroll right here, I haven't used up to this point because I didn't have many waystones with me. But the thing that we can do with this is use it, and it's supposed to take us to a nearby structure. And it could take us underground, but in this case, it actually took us to one of the best structures it could have possibly taken us to. You know what? I'll take it. That's actually fantastic. Oh, and there's even more cool buildings over here. By the way, not every single one of these is a winner, just like you can see right here. So yeah, just because we found this doesn't mean it has anything inside of it. Wait a minute. Regions Unexplored is in all the mods 10? Wait, this is a Regions Unexplored cave, which is just redstone. Oh, this is definitely a must mark. Oh, we've got to set a waystone here. This is access to a redstone cave. Oh man. Yeah, this is huge, right? That's a huge area, because all of this, by the way, can be turned into redstone just by breaking it. This also exists in the Nether then. And not only that, these redstone blocks right here, the raw redstone blocks, they can also be grinded down into more redstone. Oh yes, another one. Yes. More scrolls, please. More scrolls. That's all I want. And, ooh, yeah, Fireball. You know what? Fireball is actually really powerful. I will take that. Let's see what we get from our scrolls. Randomize, that's a good one. And a filter, which is meh. But we got another one of these, and the Fireball spellbook is honestly kind of crazy. It shoots a fireball. It's basically a TNT spell. Future Chosen here, just wanted to inject. Don't do this in a crowded room. Or do. I guess I could just go ahead and use the scroll, right? I might as well. Oh no. And it teleported me to another one of these? Oh, this is so good if it actually contains the scrolls. Are we gonna be lucky? I'm gonna say probably not. Yeah, I don't think this is a lucky one. Like I said, it's about a 1 in 5 chance. I can't believe I got so lucky first episode finding that. Back on the open seas. Here we go again. Oh man, now on the seas, it could take us anywhere. It does say located structure. I do like the idea of like using these each time we find one. Oh, we got bubble and aerial. Okay, so not anything amazing there. What could we possibly get or be teleported to? All right. It shows there's a structure here. It could literally be anywhere though. Oh, it's probably this boat, right? It's probably the boat. All right, we should have some more scrolls in here. Okay, nice, I'll take it. And underfoot. Actually, underfoot's not too bad. Allows us to kind of augment our spell to place spells to where they happen under our feet. Kind of cool for like terrain. Like for example, remember that conjure terrain spell? Well, if we actually augment this with the underfoot, whenever we jump, we can cast this spell and it will just automatically place it under our feet. Of course I have to, let's do it. And yeah, it didn't teleport us very far because there's actually a boat right here. But yeah, I think these work actually a lot better on the land. Finally, I found a different relic. This one right here, amphibian. I'm assuming this allows me to walk on water, right? It's gonna have to allow me to walk on water, right? Oh wow, no, it actually is just like a buff for being in water. So it increases your swim speed, and it's also supposed to increase your speed while it's raining. Oh, that's probably not gonna use that much, to be perfectly honest. Wow, now for skulls, I don't think it gets any better than this. There's so many skulls here. Oh wait, is this there's a diamond block. Oh, there's a spawner here. Vindicator spawner. Should I leave this for the Vindicator in the future? I don't want to break that spawner, I don't think. I actually might put a waystone here. That could be used later on. Oh no, look away. They got Steve. Oh no. Come on, please have something good inside. Please, please, please. Okay, takes a moment to load up the structure, I think. Come on, give me some good. Oh, we got amplified. That's actually really good. That costs a diamond pickaxe and summon wolves. It's a summon ability, not actually too bad. All right, let's see where this takes us. Oh goodness. Into the depths of the ocean we have gone. Oh, but it's another one of these. Oh, please let me get lucky. There's sharks over there. Please let me be lucky. Even if I'm not lucky here, there's another one right over here. Unfortunately, no luck. Again. So, oh, there's 4 of them in here as well. Oh, this is going to be good. This is the kind of chest you want to find, the one that has a bunch of them in there. So there's freeze. Ooh, that's really good. We don't want the filtered. There's rune and summon steed. Actually, summon steed is not super bad either. That's really good. Now, I'm kind of afraid to use this one because I'm afraid it's going to teleport me over here, but where did it take me? Okay, it just took me to another ship. Okay, so if all goes to plan, oh, we only got 1, but what did we get? This could really change launch. Okay, great. This could really change how we explore. Launch is a little bit on the iffy side of things because we don't really have a glider or anything like that. Leap would be the one I really want, but launch is still not bad for like getting us into high places. Like I can use launch now and we have amplify, and I could like get into those towers without using a water bucket. Now, I don't know about you, but that was a fun trip and I have explored a ton of the map, but we can now head back home. My backpacks are completely filled. And the cool part about the storage lectern is we can just place our backpack down and it's going to automatically start pulling out of our backpack. Or at least it should start pulling out of our backpack, right? It takes a moment and you can see it's going to start extracting everything out of here. That is one of the nice features about it. Now, even though I'd gone out exploring, there are still some glyphs that I'm actually missing. So I'm going to place down an imbuement chamber and we can place in some pedestals and actually make the pedestals smaller, just like so. And we can start to do some of the infusions that are built into Ars Nouveau. For example, this will use Wild and Wing, and we can make ourselves an air essence. So this is going to take a little bit of time to craft without any source, but it will craft, and that's kind of all that matters. So with our scribes table, we can place this down, right-click our spellbook onto it, and we can now see all of our tier 1 spells. And notice there are a few that we're still missing. For example, Harvest, Leap, which is definitely what I want to go for, Place Block, and then believe it or not, we haven't done Conjure Mage Light. These actually take a little bit of XP, by the way, from our XP bar to do the craft. But it's going to be so nice. Now, if we placed the lectern near our actual area upstairs, near that table, it will automatically pull out of that. So let's check this out. So if I go ahead and place this next to it, let's take that. It'll drop our XP, by the way. But if we place this down up here and we do the same spell request for the Conjure Mage Light, you will see that it's going to automatically pull out of our lectern. That's just, it just makes it so easy. It's just so much nicer. And Conjure Mage Light is one of my favorite spells, allowing us to not only self Conjure Mage Light, which will give us night vision, but you can go ahead and do touch or projectile, either or even underfoot, and Conjure Mage Light. And by default, this is going to give us like a torch effect. But if we hit amplify, then this is going to give us a light source that is essentially glowstone level. And then on top of that, if you want to change the colors, you can pick any of these colors or make your own. Like there's even a rainbow option, so you can make like a rainbow torch. Pretty cool. These utility spells are going to be some of the best helpers early game as we continue our adventure here. So I definitely want these quality of lives as soon as possible. And of course, what I'm working on here is getting that air essence, and that is going to allow me to make the leap. And if you've never experienced the leap, it's so good, so good, allowing us to traverse our world so much easier. And since there's not really any other mod in here that really helps early game, for example, like a glider or something like that, movement is really limited. So to be able to get around this world more effectively, I think having this is going to be a necessity. And perfect, it's done. So now we have our air essence, the only major thing that I'm going to be required to make at the moment. I'll go ahead and toss that in here for right now and make the most powerful spell, Leap. Oh, it's such a good spell. Like I cannot just like disregard this like early on. It's too good to do that. I know I did it, I think in all the mods 9, but and I just skipped over it, but we have to have it. We have to have it. So now that I have Leap, we can actually see how powerful this can become. And because we can set keybinds for this stuff. So if we have Leap, essentially we need to say cast onto ourself and then cast Leap. Now Leap with just this alone without any amplification is not too bad, right? If we right click, it moves us forward a little bit. and it just basically moves us in the direction that we were looking. With a little bit of amplify though, things can get a little bit out of hand. We go significantly higher. With even more amplify, we go even higher, right? And we can keep casting this. Later on, when we get a better spell book, we can also apply some slow fall, which just basically allows us to glide through the sky. Such a good way of getting around early on. But something you can do inside of your keybinds is set the quick cast slot. So, for example, I can set quick cast 0 to button 5, and then inside of my spell book, in the first slot, we can actually make this spell. So I can say self, and then we'll do the leap, and then an amplify R2, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And dash, of course, we have to go with dash. It's my favorite. And now I can use that button on my mouse while I'm holding my spell book to cast this. Cool thing too, we don't actually have to have this spell selected. So I can hold V, and for example, I can have the Mage Light spell selected just like this, and I can still use this without switching that spell. Very, very helpful for, like, for example, setting a keybind to just place a torch down or place a Mage Light down. Now, if you don't have yourself some springy boots, what you can also do on top of everything with this spell is you can apply bounce. That way you will bounce just like I'm doing and not take fall damage after casting this. But I don't actually need to do that. If I did add it, it does use a bit more of my source, so I would just prefer to keep it off of there. That way I'm not using as much. But what you'll see is I can now dash around essentially. Yeah, and we can just kind of dash around our base. And with our Ars gear on, without it even being enchanted, we're basically able to keep this up. So long as I cast myself in sort of a forward upward direction. Yeah, we can move around so much more effectively. Oh, this is just fantastic. You know what? This is why I love Ars so much. And I can't understand why anybody would hate this. I'm looking at you, the one who says, hey, Chosen, I'm not watching. You always do Ars. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Oh, that's right. They're probably not watching, are they? So now with the ability to place torches infinitely and also the ability to glide through the world, oh man, I think we are looking forward to doing some mining. Yes, we will be getting some mining done very, very soon, and we're going to start to build up our actual modded infrastructure. That's right, we're going to be diving into some tech stuff very, very soon, and I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Of course, if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and well, give this video a huge thumbs up. And of course, with that out of the way, it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to, of course, go out to Rosvendvik. I think I said that right. Thank you so much for your amazing support, and of course choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting in one of the best ways possible. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode, and as always, thanks for watching.